Welcome home. This is the Irish Roots Cafe, where every day's a holiday and there's always room for one more. Come right this way, have a seat with me today in the corner booth celebrating our 104th week. Sweeney, clear that floor. Katie, bar the door. Molly, put on another pot of Irish coffee and bring out the Irish dancers. It's time we get this show on the road. We've got another full house today, not a chair to spare. I'm Mike OLaughlin, your host. Reach me on my webpage anytime at irishroots.com, and you can check out the written show notes on our blog with lots of links where you can just click on them and go to the places I'm talking about here in today's podcast. And remember, you can contact me anytime with tips or stories or news or what have you at 816-256-3360. And you leave your comments on my recorder there and I'll get right to them. Try it, you'll like it. Among today's topics, Boland is the name of the day. Aaron's Sons in Canada is the book of the day. Pay toilets in flight. Slumdog Irish director, Facebook and MySpace connection, the wealthiest and the poorest countries in Ireland, and St. Louis Irish is one of today's videos. Hey, and just wanted to remind you, you can get all 5 of my broadcast feeds free, either from iTunes or on our webpage, so be sure to take advantage of that. I'm still getting ready to do the second season of the Irish Song and Recitation Festival. Like I said before, I may have to put this broadcast here off for a week or two. And then we've got the enhanced version of this broadcast. If you've got QuickTime or iTunes, you go to the enhanced version instead of just the regular audio, and you'll get some links you can click on with still photographs thrown up on the screen while you're listening to the show. So that's another option for you. Well, let's move on and see if we've got any notes this week. Hey, just 2 this week, so I think. Number 1, a reminder, I'm now trying out these social networks online. On Facebook, I am Mike OLaughlin, and on MySpace, I am Irish Roots Cafe. And OLaughlin is O''Laughlin in my part of the country. Of course, my ancestors spelled it with an O-L-O instead of an O-L-A, but that's another story. Dear old Grandpa changed that name for me. And number 2, I'm working on putting together some DVDs and some CDs right now, learning all about that fine art and science. And it's amazing what can be done on a computer. This little Macintosh I've got just really goes to town. They've got all this free software. You can make your own DVDs, and of course, that's what I'm broadcasting all these podcasts on, so it's really interesting. And I've converted our first travel video that we did way back. My nephew did that for me when we were on one of our trips back in the 1980s, and we converted that to digital. And it's pretty primitive by today's standard, but I think you might enjoy it, and we'll be sharing that with you on DVD along with a few other things, so keep your eyes open for that. And, oh, hey, one of those DVDs is even going to have some old Irish songs that we've dug up here at the cafe, and they've previously only been heard late at night on stage during rehearsal. It'll be a rare treat indeed. We just need a few backup musicians to kick in here now, and we get everybody together at one time, and we'll have that one done. Well, let's move on to the book of the month. Well, today's book of the month is Aaron's Sons, Irish Arrivals in Atlantic Canada, 1761 to 1853, Volume 2, by Terence M. Punch. And this isn't one of my books, so you can't be buying it directly from me, but I thought you might want to hear about it. It's just been published, and it covers the provinces of Newfoundland and Labrador and Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia, and it lists 7,000 Irish arrivals in Atlantic Canada before 1853. And I took a quick look at it here, and there's a lot of different sources in it. including lists of runaways and deserters and convicts and indentured servants, from whom we're probably all descended at one time or another. It's about 197 pages, and it's indexed. It's a paperback, and they are asking retail $30 plus $5 shipping, and you can order it directly from Genealogical Publishing. And that's at 3600 Clipper Mill Road, Suite 260, Baltimore, Maryland, 21211. And just another reminder, it's not a book of mine. Most of the books I've been going over here and reviewing lately have been the ones I've published, but we're sure open to letting anybody know about books out there that are of interest to Irish family historians and researchers, and this is one of them, so I thought I'd pass that right along. Hey, you know what else we got coming up? Tara Logan Buckley was named what honor recently? It's in the modeling field, but we'll have that in a little bit. And she's from Ireland, too. But right now, it's time to raise our eyes skyward, give thanks, and ask for help. Here are today's Magnificent Seven. Number 1, Jean Rayberg of Pocomoke, Maryland. I don't know which way to go with that spelling. Your County Galway Genealogy and Family History book shipped. Thomas Quinn of Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania. There's 2 names in a row. They sound like old Indian names. I'm not sure how they're supposed to be pronounced. But anyway, your Kings County Offaly and Queens County genealogy book is shipped. And C. Alsop of Guernsey Channel Islands, your County Cork genealogy has shipped. Jamie Hauser of Robert, Louisiana, your County Mayo book has shipped. Marie Malloy of Winfield, British Columbia, Canada, your County Cavan genealogy has shipped. Wayne Holsnagel of Mitchell, South Dakota, your County Antrim genealogy book has shipped. And Gerald Tarsnane of Bronx, New York, your County Clare genealogy book has shipped. That's my favorite county a lot of times because that's where the O'Laughlins came from. But then again, County Kerry is where the Donahues came from, which were my mother's people. I wouldn't want to get either side of the family mad at me, so those are my 2 favorite counties most of the time. Unless I'm talking to you, and then your county's my county. Hey, that reminds me to say thanks to all of our members because without you, I wouldn't be able to do any of the podcasts, none of the activity on iTunes, none of the books over the years, over 60 of them now, all because of your support. So I want you to know that when you're a member, you help things keep rolling in the right direction. And I'm working on some new stuff on the member page, something a little bit easier to work with as soon as I get the help in line here. Now let's move on to a quick look at the Irish family name of the day. Well, the Irish family name of the day is Boland, and today's family history is in honor of Michelle Wesson. I think she was on there last week. She's looking for Boland. She's a new member. And you know there's related spellings of the name. She's spelling it B-O-L-A-N-D, and you can spell it B-O-A-L-N just simply like that, or you can make that bow sound like B-O-W-L-A-N or A-N-D, or Billion, or Bullion, or Obolane, or you can have an O in front of it. And let's take a look at the variant spelling groups. We're number 125 and variant spelling group number 2107, and that's taken from the Master Guide to the Various Spellings of Irish Family Names. We've got a link to that on our blog. And let's just take a real quick look today, since we've got so much going on, at the history of the name. You know, the Book of Irish Family says that O'Boland was the more ancient spelling of the name. It serves, of course, for O'Boland and Boland today. And, you know, you don't find it with that O prefix in modern times. It's just about always dropped. And it's found both as Boland and Boland. And there appears to be at least 2 separate origins of the name. So that means maybe all the Bolands are not related. There's at least 2 ancestors you got here. And in County Sligo, we're going to find that some of them are centered at Dunalton in the barony of Tireragh. And the family is also found at Drumcliff in the barony of Carberry in Sligo in connection with St. Columban's Church. And you know, we've got a Bishop Boland here in Kansas City just recently. I think he just recently retired, and his brother was bishop down there in Savannah, Georgia, when I went to visit there. So there you had two Bolands that were bishops in modern times right here in America. I wonder what that means about all you other Bolands out there. You have a knack for organizing and managing things, perhaps? Well, let's move on and take a look at the Irish family coats of arms. Now, we do have illustrated arms for the Boland family in the Irish Book of Arms, and we have one other reference, John O'Hart, that guy who recorded so many important records from the old days, and he gives us the arms of the Bolands of Ulster, that's up north in Ireland, and he says that they were sable 3 fleur-de-lis argent, and the crest was a church and spire proper. Okay, now, hey, you know what else we got coming up later in this episode? Last year, Guinness and oyster was the best pizza in Ireland, according to this one judge contest. And do you want to know what it's going to be this year? It's going to sound even a little bit more different than that. Come to think of it, I think the first time I had pineapple on pizza was in Killarney a long time ago. Down in that shopping center, had to come in the back end, not the Main Street side, but came in through the big parking lot downstairs, and I saw that pineapple, and I tried it, and it was good. So I might try these new ones, too. We'll hear about that in a second. Let's finish up with Boland. Now, if you take a look at the Free Master Index search of Irish names on my webpage, it finds the family spelled with a D 17 times. We find O. Boland in the Annals of Ireland by the Four Masters, and M. O. Boland in Irish Knighthoods. That's another book. And then Boland is found in Irish genealogies and in the Birth Index of Ireland, in Families of County Clare, Families of County Kerry, and there's even an O. Boland in County Sligo Genealogy and Family History Notes. That's volume 24 of our 34-book set on Irish families, and there's more, of course, but that's as far as I'll go. You'll have no trouble finding Bolands in Ireland, that's for sure. Now let's step on over and let's take a look at the websites of the week. Well, we'll name 3 here, and I'll comment on them after I give them comment on a couple of them after I list them here. You go to my on the webpage and go to my blog, and you'll find right away. You just be able to click on these 3 and go right to them. Number 1, for the name, we're going to have Boland Queries. That's with Cousin Connect, and they've usually got some interesting information on names if you're searching, so you might want to go there. Number 2, there's an interview with Ryanair about pay toilets. Talk about that in a second. And number 3, St. Louis Irish Video is the video of the week, and that's number 13 from our first series, our first year of those videos that we're putting out. And now it's time for everybody's favorite Curious News and Notes. And let me see. You know that Ryanair I just talked about? Well, that's the budget Irish airline, and they're apt to cut just about anything to keep those fares nice and low. I hope they keep the seat belts, but at this rate, I'm not sure. They're considering charging for using the toilet during flight. Now, boy, that sure wouldn't be too good on an international flight. Maybe their flights are a little bit shorter, just jaunting over to Europe there. They were talking about putting a coin slot on the doors, and the cost would be £1. So you could take £1 and just drop a £1 coin in that slot, and the door would open, and you go in. And he said, well, it'd be pretty good because everybody has £1 on them, and they can use it easy enough, and it'd bring everybody's prices for their tickets down. That's what that interview's about on the video I had above for a website of the week. Let's move on. Number 2, the pizza. Now, there's a new Irish pizza from Dublin, and it includes these ingredients: Cashel blue cheese, Jameson whiskey, bacon, apple, and Clonakilty black pudding. What a combination. And what's the name of it? It's called Jameson and Black. Boy, it sounds like you're going up to the counter to order a drink. Give me a Jameson in black. Now, Mr. Carroll had a pizza last year that was named Ireland's Best, and that was named Guinness and Oyster. So this year's contest is going to be held in March in Las Vegas, and you can read all more about it at theherald.ie, and I've got a link on the blog, and it's about the Bistro B and Connie in Dublin, and that's where they're doing all this uncovering of new ingredients. Number 3, Tara Logan Buckley of Ballinhassig has been named Britain's next plus model, winning out of a field of almost 500 contestants. So I tell you, they make beautiful women in all shapes and sizes in Ireland, and they're spreading out all over the world and winning all the awards. Number 4, Dublin is the wealthiest county, and guess what the poorest county was? Well, it's way over in the west and way up north. It's Donegal, and that was the poorest county according to the recent study. Now, some of the other counties that were just a little above average were Limerick and Kildare and Meath, and you can read all about it on the blog if you click on there and go to theindependent.ie. Number 5, Dr. Timothy Dolan has been named as Archbishop of New York, and that serves about 2.5 million parishioners with almost 400 churches. You can read more about that appointment on the blog, too. Number 6, if you watched the Academy Awards, then you saw that Danny Boyle got the Best Director Award. And you know what? He's got roots in Ballinasloe, County Galway. I think that's where his mom was from. And he was the director for the film Slumdog that has really taken over the movie screens here, and everybody says it's the best thing going. I put it on my list. I'll be going to watch it next week, see how he did. And what have I got now? I've got to leave early because there's, we're going to call it an Irish baby shower. This would be my godchild is having a baby, and they called it an Irish diaper party. And I go, what in the world is that? He says, well, we come down and all the guys have a party at home and bring a bag of diapers, any size at all, because eventually the baby will be growing into them. And all the girls go out to a restaurant and have a nice time and eat and party. And I said, boy, how the mighty has fallen. The men have to stay home. The girls go out and party. But I guess it's a fitting thing because who does all the work for the baby, huh? Or at least so they say. So I'm on my way to that now. We'll cut it short this week. But remember to send your comments by clicking the contact link on our webpage at irishroots.com or send to our American address at the Irish Roots Cafe, Box 7575, Kansas City, Missouri, 64116. Leave your message or report on things in your part of the world when you call my phone recorder at 816-256-3360. Skype me at Irish Roots Cafe. Find me on MySpace at Irish Roots Cafe. And find me on Facebook at Mike OLaughlin. Members foot the bill so they get first priority, but we're open to all. And by the way, a big thank you to all of our members. And away.